Hello, I'm Neil Brighton. I'm the principal admin of Group B today, and I have a couple of cars here today with me that Renault kindly allowed me to use their forecourt for. The first one is my Renault 5 Maxi Turbo, which I've had for going on for nearly 30 years, and my newest car, which is the 206 WRC, and that one is its very first time out.
So, first of all, tell me a little bit about yourself and your background, because like you said, you've been involved in the rallying scene for quite a while.
Like lots of young guys when I was younger, I loved cars. I mean, I originally came from motorbikes and had a need for speed, and then got into cars, and for some reason I got into Renault 5s. I'm not sure quite what went on, but I got into Renault 5s, found out that there were some fast versions for the road, and that sort of led on to this sort of incessant need for the next model up, and over the years I sort of had a number of different models of Renault 5, and a friend called Lyle Armstrong took me out in his Turbo 2 around the roundabout not far from here in Harrow, Norfolk Park roundabout, and just absolutely blew me away sideways around this roundabout. And I'd never been in a car driven sideways before, and certainly not on the public highway. and that was it. I was done for. And so my life from that point onward was focused on the fact that his car had a rallying background, and that sort of drew me into the rally world. And so we're going back to, oh goodness, sort of 1992. No, hang on, yeah, 92-ish. And from that point onwards, I've been involved with cars and rally cars, and have gone off and done events in this country, displays and rallies, and across in Europe. Been over to Ireland, Germany. We've been down to Spain, and it's been just this sequence of, I'm going to go and do that event next, and that one next, and all these historic rally events that where you weren't allowed to use some of the cars, particularly the Renault, which was Group B, you weren't allowed to use on some events early on in the UK. So we would just go abroad and do events there. So my background has always been part of the historic scene, and that to me, as a scene in itself, if you just put all the Group B stuff aside, is a massive scene of people racing cars that are no longer on the cutting edge, but to my mind, it's a bigger scene than the actual main rally scene, because this is where you can get involved.
So, how do you go about recreating a Renault 5 Maxi?
Well, I think you needed to, firstly, I had a little bit of a screw loose. There were a number of factors that came into that. One was not having enough money to buy one. I mean, back at that time in the 90s, I remember there was a Maxi Turbo for sale, and at that time it was 60,000, which in 92, 93 was huge money for a car. And so it was way out of my league, but I was always of a mind that if you set your mind to something, and I'm skilled with my hands, that you could actually do it. And what was really important was to work with the attention to detail, because that was the thing that was either going to make it work or make it just a look-alike. So I set about building the car as you see it there, and my intention was that every small detail that I could possibly achieve needed to be achieved. There might be things that you couldn't achieve, and that you might have to live with, but if you could achieve it, there was no, okay, that'll do. It had to be right. And the car pretty much developed, in a sense, over time, where I developed more skills or had more money, and then you change things, and it ended up becoming the car that you see there.